The apartment is quiet. Dim city lights filter through the curtains, casting long shadows across the room. Olivia Parker, a modern American woman in her late 20s, sits at her sleek, minimalist desk, eyes glued to her laptop screen. Her posture is tense, her shoulders hunched. She rubs her temples, exhausted from another long day at work. Reports, emails, and endless deadlines have blurred together into a relentless cycle. Her phone buzzes again. A message from a friend. "Are you coming to dinner tomorrow?" She stares at it, unsure if she even has the energy to reply. The apartment is neat, almost sterile, everything in its place. Yet tonight, something feels off. Olivia glances at the kitchen counter. Her mug isn't where she left it this morning. She frowns, shakes her head, and chalks it up to fatigue. A flicker of light catches her eye near the living room. The lamp, steady all evening, flickers once, then goes out. She stands abruptly. "Olivia," whispering to herself. "I'm imagining things." She checks the lamp. It's fine. The bulb is intact. Still, a creeping unease settles over her. Shadows seem to stretch and move in the corners of her apartment. She blinks. Nothing. With a sigh, Olivia heads toward her bedroom. The familiar comfort of her mirror should calm her, she thinks. But tonight, the glass feels different. She pauses, staring at her reflection. For a heartbeat, she sees not herself, but a stranger. A woman, her skin tone and hair similar, yet her face is wrong. Just for a moment, the stranger smiles, just slightly, then vanishes. Olivia jolts back, heart racing. "Olivia! No! No! That can't be." She touches the mirror, tracing the cold surface with her fingers. Only her reflection stares back now. Her pulse hammers in her ears. Shaking, she retreats to her bed, pulling the covers tight. Sleep should come easily after the exhaustion, but her mind refuses to rest. She keeps seeing that fleeting face in her mind, the stranger's eyes, the subtle, knowing smile. Time passes slowly. Every creak of the apartment, every whisper of the wind outside makes her tense. The boundary between reality and something unknown feels thinner tonight. The air itself seems heavier, charged. She imagines it's just stress, overwork, maybe even hunger. But a small, stubborn fear refuses to be ignored. She glances at the mirror one last time before closing her eyes, and for a fleeting moment, just at the edge of her vision, she sees movement, the shadow of the stranger shifting behind her reflection. Her stomach twists. "Olivia!" Voice trembling. It's not real. It can't be real. Still, the unease lingers. Her apartment, once a sanctuary, feels like it's watching her. The familiar has become strange. The ordinary has begun to bend. She buries her face in her pillow, her mind racing with disbelief. Was she tired? Imaginative? Or was something else trying to reach her? As her eyelids finally droop, the last thought in her foggy, anxious mind is a whisper she cannot place. "Who are you?" A few nights later, the apartment is silent again. Olivia sits curled on the couch, a blanket draped over her shoulders. The glow of her laptop illuminates her tired face as she scrolls through work emails. Her mind drifts, still haunted by the fleeting image in the mirror from a few nights ago. The apartment feels colder than usual. Every shadow seems to twitch just beyond the edges of the room. Olivia hugs her knees tighter, trying to convince herself that nothing is wrong. Then she hears it. A faint whisper, soft and almost musical, drifts through the living room. Whisper, V.O. Olivia. Her heart stops. She freezes, staring into the dim room. The whisper repeats, slightly closer this time. Whisper, V.O. Olivia. Her breath quickens. She jumps up, scanning every corner, every shadow. The apartment is empty. The streets outside hum with distant traffic. Nothing more. Olivia, to herself, shaking. It's just my imagination. Stress. I'm just tired. She moves toward her bedroom, hoping the familiarity of her space will ground her. But the whisper comes again, this time almost inside her ear. Intimate, like a secret someone is sharing just with her. Whisper, V.O. Olivia. She freezes mid-step, a chill running down her spine. She turns slowly toward the mirror on the wall. Her own reflection stares back, pale and weary. For a heartbeat, the corner of the glass ripples, almost like water, and she sees the faintest hint of another face, just behind hers. Olivia gasps, stumbling backward. Olivia. No. No. This isn't real. She sinks onto the bed, burying her face in her hands. Her mind races. Was she hearing things? Seeing things? She remembers the long hours at work, the stress, the exhaustion. Maybe it was all in her head. Yet, there's a fear she cannot shake. A seed of doubt planted deep in her chest. The whisper wasn't mechanical or random. It was personal, familiar, almost caring, yet terrifying. The next morning, she tries to tell herself it was just a dream. She meets a neighbor in the lobby, cheerful and chatty. Neighbor. Hey, Olivia, you look a little tired. Late night? Olivia, smiling faintly. Yeah, just work. The neighbor nods, oblivious to the fear lingering in her eyes. Olivia walks away, feeling a growing isolation. No one else seems to notice the subtle changes, the strange occurrences, the shadows that flicker when she glances sideways. Later, in the kitchen, she notices the coffee mug from last night isn't where she left it. The faintest scuff marks on the floor suggest something, or someone, moved around while she slept. She hesitates, then looks at the mirror above the counter. Nothing. Only her reflection. Her phone buzzes again, a reminder for a work meeting. She sighs and taps the screen. But then, whisper, V.O. Olivia. She freezes, the hair on her arms standing on end. It wasn't her imagination. It wasn't a dream. It came from here, from somewhere inside her apartment. And it was calling her by name. The whisper fades, leaving a heavy silence that presses against her chest. Olivia slowly walks to the mirror in her bedroom. She stares into it, willing her reflection to remain still, hoping it will be normal. For a long moment, it is. But she knows the normalcy is fragile, temporary. She presses her hands against the mirror's cool surface, a mix of fear and longing in her eyes. Olivia. Who? Are you? No answer comes, only the faint echo of her own voice bouncing back. Yet in the quiet, she feels it. The mirror is no longer just glass. It's a threshold, a barrier, a boundary she has already crossed without knowing. The whisper lingers in her mind, a haunting refrain she cannot ignore. She moves through her apartment with new caution, sensing something unseen observing her, waiting. Even when she tries to distract herself with mundane tasks, the whisper returns. In her thoughts, soft but insistent, reminding her that the ordinary world she trusted is no longer enough. Something else is here. Something that knows her. Her reflection in the mirror catches her eye again. For the briefest moment, she thinks she sees a shadow behind her reflection, a flicker of movement that wasn't there before. Her pulse races. Olivia, whispering, "This can't be happening." She pulls the blanket tighter around her shoulders, trying to summon calm, but the unease stays, burrowing into her mind. Something is not right. Something has changed. And the mirror, once a simple object in her room, has become a silent, watching presence. The fear settles in, heavy and real, as she realizes she is no longer alone in her own home. Olivia sits cross-legged on the floor of her bedroom, a notebook open in front of her. Her laptop glows faintly, filled with articles about paranormal phenomena, mirror legends, and stories of spirits or doubles. She flips through each page, eyes wide with a mix of disbelief and fascination. Her apartment, once familiar, now feels alien. Every shadow seems to shift just beyond her vision. Every creak of the floorboards feels intentional, like footsteps that aren't hers. Olivia, to herself, I need to know. What's happening? She pauses, glancing at the bedroom mirror. It hangs in its usual place, perfectly normal. Or at least, it looks normal. She swallows her fear and leans closer, trying to see if the reflection has changed. Nothing. Only her own tired face. Determined, she begins a careful investigation. She sets up her phone to record, hoping to catch any unusual movement. She places her camera at different angles, documenting the apartment. For hours, nothing happens. Olivia grows frustrated. Could she really be imagining all of it? But deep inside, a lingering fear refuses to be dismissed. The whisper, the shadow in the mirror. It wasn't imagination. She leans back in her chair, remembering moments from her childhood. Her parents had always warned her about looking too long into mirrors and not ignoring the unseen. At the time, she had laughed it off, but now the warnings seem eerily relevant. Flashback, VO. A younger Olivia stands in front of a mirror, her mother's voice gentle but firm. Mother Olivia, never stare too long. Mirrors can show more than just your face. The memory fades. Olivia shakes her head, trying to clear the thoughts, but the unease grows, gnawing at her mind. She notices small, subtle changes in the apartment. A book slightly out of place. A photo tilted on the wall. A pen on the desk that she didn't leave there. Each tiny irregularity sets her nerves on edge. She checks her phone recordings. The videos show nothing unusual. Empty rooms, still furniture, ordinary reflections. Yet the feeling of being watched persists. She realizes the phenomenon only occurs when she is alone. Olivia, whispering. It's like it waits for me. Only me. Her thoughts drift to her lost childhood memories. A sibling she barely remembers. A friend who vanished. A family secret that always felt too heavy to uncover. Could this be connected? Could the stranger in the mirror be more than a reflection? Something tied to her past? She returns to the mirror, notebook in hand. She traces the frame with her fingers, inspecting it for cracks or marks. A faint smudge catches her attention. She wipes it carefully, but the smudge returns almost immediately, almost like it wants to be seen. Olivia sets up a small ritual, inspired by one of the folklore articles she read. She lights a candle and places it near the mirror, hoping to reveal anything hidden. Shadows flicker wildly across the room, throwing her reflection into sharp relief. She gasps. For a fleeting moment, the stranger's face appears again. Sharper this time, almost pleading. Olivia blinks, and it vanishes. Her pulse races. Olivia, I'm not crazy, but the fear is real. The sense of being watched, of being called, refuses to leave her. She feels her grip on the ordinary world slipping. Desperate for answers, Olivia begins cataloging everything. Times, movements, sounds, subtle changes in the mirror. She sketches the faint outline of the stranger she glimpsed. Each drawing, though rough, chills her to the bone. Hours pass. Exhaustion presses against her, but she cannot stop. The stranger is real. The mirror is a gateway, or a message. Olivia knows she is standing at the edge of something she does not yet understand. Olivia, to herself, I have to find out, before it finds me. Her reflection in the mirror flickers once more. This time, the stranger's eyes linger. Deep, knowing, and frighteningly familiar. Olivia steps back, heart hammering. She realizes that whatever she is facing is not random. It is personal. For the first time, she allows herself a shiver of dread. This is no longer a mystery of the mind. Something is here, waiting, watching. The room falls silent, heavy with anticipation. Olivia's hand hovers over her notebook, trembling. She knows that the investigation has only just begun, and that the stranger in the mirror is drawing her closer with every passing night. The apartment feels colder than usual, the shadows deeper, more pronounced. Olivia stands before her bedroom mirror, notebook in hand, her heart hammering. Every instinct tells her to look away. Yet curiosity, that stubborn need for answers, keeps her rooted in place. She stares into the glass, willing it to remain normal. For a moment it does. Then, just as she blinks, the stranger appears. This time, the face is unmistakable. A woman, nearly identical to Olivia, with the same sharp cheekbones, the same chestnut brown eyes, but not quite her. There's something subtle, unnerving in the stranger's expression, a mix of longing, sorrow, and an almost pleading awareness. Olivia gasps, stepping back. Olivia. No, that's not. The stranger lifts a hand, slowly, mirroring Olivia's movements. But her eyes, they aren't just reflecting Olivia's. They seem to see her, deeply, as if reaching into her very soul. A cold shiver runs down Olivia's spine. She stumbles backward toward her bed, trembling. Every rational thought screams that this isn't real. Yet her mind refuses to dismiss it. The stranger is there, Olivia, voice shaking. Who? Who are you? The stranger doesn't speak, but tilts her head slightly, and for the briefest moment, Olivia sees a flash of something familiar. Memories she had buried deep. Flashback. VO. A small girl, laughing in a sunlit yard. A little brother, holding her hand. A fleeting moment of joy. Then silence. The memories hit her like a wave. Something long forgotten, something she didn't even know she had lost, begins to surface. Her chest tightens. She looks back at the mirror. The stranger's lips move, whispering words Olivia can almost hear. A shadow stretches across the room, as if the mirror itself has grown darker, heavier, charged with some unseen presence. Suddenly, a hand, the stranger's hand, reaches toward the glass. Olivia flinches, feeling a cold sensation against her own skin, as if the mirror itself is brushing her. The sensation is fleeting but undeniable. Olivia, panicked. This can't be real. It can't! The stranger's eyes widen slightly, and in that instant, Olivia realizes something terrifying. The stranger is connected to her, not just by appearance, but by memory, by pain, by loss. Something from her past has returned, through the mirror, demanding acknowledgement. Olivia backs away, trembling. She bumps into the edge of her desk, scattering papers across the floor. But her gaze never leaves the mirror. The stranger's presence fills the room, oppressive and intimate all at once. Olivia, whispering, Are you? Me? The stranger tilts her head again, an almost imperceptible nod. But there's more. A silent urgency in her eyes, a message Olivia cannot yet fully understand. Olivia's mind races. Childhood memories, long-buried secrets, the vague feeling of something missing. it all begins to coalesce. Could this be a sibling she never knew about? A twin? Or a fragment of herself she lost along the way? She stumbles to her notebook and frantically begins scribbling, trying to capture the stranger's image, her expression, the details she fears will vanish if she blinks. The stranger watches her every movement, still, silent, unblinking. A low, almost imperceptible hum fills the room. The shadows seem to swirl, wrapping around the corners of the walls, tugging at her senses. Olivia's fear escalates, her pulse racing. She cannot tear her eyes away. Then, almost imperceptibly, the stranger mouths a word. Stranger. V.O. Remember. It hits Olivia like a thunderclap. The memories she thought were gone, the laughter, the loss, the absence, surge back in vivid waves. Tears stream down her face. She feels grief, confusion, and a strange sense of recognition all at once. Olivia, voice breaking. I remember. The stranger's expression softens, almost relieved, as if Olivia acknowledging the past fulfills some silent need. The mirror shimmers, the air charged with energy, and Olivia realizes the encounter is not just supernatural. It is deeply personal, tied to her history, her identity, her very soul. She takes a tentative step forward, pressing her hands against the cold glass. The stranger mirrors her movements. Olivia feels a connection she cannot explain, a pull between the reflection and herself. The room is silent, heavy with anticipation. Olivia's fear is immense, yet beneath it lies a strange, fragile hope. The hope that understanding this stranger will help her reconcile with her past. For the first time, Olivia allows herself to truly look at the stranger, to acknowledge her presence, and to feel the weight of what the mirror is showing her. The revelation is clear. This is not just a reflection. This is a message, a memory, a part of her life that has been waiting to resurface. The apartment is bathed in a dim, trembling light from a single candle placed near the bedroom mirror. Shadows dance across the walls, elongating and twisting with every flicker. Olivia stands before the mirror, her hands pressed to the cool glass, notebook clutched loosely at her side. Her pulse races. She knows she cannot avoid this any longer. The stranger is there again, clearer than ever, her expression almost pleading. Olivia's reflection and the stranger mirror each other perfectly. Yet Olivia senses the subtle differences, a tilt of the head, the quiet intensity in the stranger's gaze. Olivia, whispering. I need to understand. I need to know. She takes a deep breath, steadying herself. Tonight, she will confront whatever this is. Tonight, she will face the mirror and the part of herself that has been hidden for so long. Olivia picks up an old photo album from the nightstand. Pictures of childhood birthdays, family vacations, moments she had almost forgotten. She holds it out toward the mirror. The stranger mimics the gesture. For a moment, Olivia thinks the reflection might step forward, might reach through the glass. A shiver runs down her spine. Olivia, did you live with me? Were you part of my life? The stranger tilts her head slowly, eyes softening, mirroring Olivia's own confusion and longing. A silent understanding passes between them. The mirror is not just glass. It is a boundary, a bridge to something Olivia had lost or repressed. She flips through the photo album, pointing at images. The stranger's expression changes. Smiles where Olivia smiles, frowns where she frowns. It is as if the reflection is feeding off her emotions, mirroring her inner world with terrifying precision. Olivia, voice trembling. I remember now. Flashbacks surge through her mind. Laughter in a sunlit yard, the small hand of a sibling slipping through hers, the ache of absence she could never name. She remembers the loss, the fear, the silence that followed. The stranger's eyes widen, as if confirming what Olivia has just recalled. She steps closer to the mirror, leaning in, heart pounding. Olivia, why are you here? Why now? The stranger raises a hand, and Olivia does the same. For a brief, shocking moment, their hands align perfectly. Olivia feels a cold, electric sensation, as if the mirror is alive, as if it is acknowledging her recognition. Olivia, I forgive you. Her voice is barely audible. But the act of speaking it aloud seems to change something. The stranger's expression softens, a hint of relief washing over her mirrored face. The air feels lighter, the oppressive weight lifting just slightly. Olivia's emotions surge uncontrollably. Fear, grief, anger, and longing all colliding. The stranger mirrors them flawlessly, and in doing so, Olivia feels the deepest connection she has ever known. It is terrifying and comforting all at once. She sets the photo album on the floor and traces her fingers along the mirror's surface. The reflection stares back, not threatening but expectant. Olivia realizes that the stranger has been waiting for her to remember, to acknowledge, to confront the past she buried. Olivia, voice breaking. I'm ready. The mirror shimmers faintly, the candlelight reflecting in unusual patterns. Olivia closes her eyes for a moment, letting the emotions wash over her. When she opens them again, the stranger's expression is almost serene, patient, and filled with quiet understanding. Olivia leans closer, whispering, Olivia, I understand now. You are a part of me, and I accept that. For the first time, she feels a strange sense of calm. The fear that had gripped her for weeks does not vanish entirely, but it becomes manageable, tempered by understanding and connection. The stranger in the mirror mirrors not just her image, but her emotions, her pain, her growth. Time seems to stretch in the room, the candle flickering steadily now. Olivia realizes that confronting the reflection has not only revealed the stranger's identity, but has forced her to face herself, her fears, her losses, and her resilience. She steps back, hands still on the glass. The reflection meets her gaze fully, a silent promise of presence and acknowledgement. The stranger is no longer a threat. She is a part of Olivia, a fragment of memory and emotion that has long sought recognition. Olivia, softly. Thank you for waiting. The room falls silent. Olivia lowers her hands, feeling the weight of the encounter and the subtle shift in the apartment's energy. Shadows remain, but they no longer seem threatening. The mirror holds secrets, yes, but it also holds understanding, a reflection of who she is and who she has always been. Olivia sits on the edge of her bed, exhausted, trembling, but at peace in a way she has not felt for years. She knows the journey is far from over. But tonight, she has taken the first step toward reconciling with the stranger, with herself. Olivia sits cross-legged on the floor in front of her bedroom mirror, candlelight flickering across the walls. The stranger's reflection stares back at her, silent, patient, almost expectant. For weeks, Olivia had avoided the truth, pushing down memories and dismissing the whispers and shadows. But tonight, avoidance is no longer possible. She closes her eyes, letting the rush of past emotions wash over her. Childhood laughter, fleeting joy, moments of love and sudden loss, memories she had locked away. A twin sister she never knew, lost shortly after birth, erased from family conversations, erased from her life. The realization hits her like a tidal wave. Olivia, voice trembling. It was you all this time. The stranger's reflection softens, a flicker of recognition crossing her eyes. Olivia reaches out and places her hand against the glass, The mirror feels colder than before, but it pulses with energy, the echo of something unfinished, something waiting for acknowledgement. Flashback, VO. A young Olivia sits in a hospital room, holding a tiny, fragile hand. Her parents are silent, grief etched into their faces. A nurse whispers that her twin sister didn't survive. Olivia doesn't understand, only feels an emptiness she cannot name. Back in the present, tears streak Olivia's face. The stranger in the mirror is her lost twin, a part of her own soul, separated by tragedy, now appearing to demand recognition, to reclaim the bond denied to her in childhood. Olivia, whispering, I never forgot you. I just didn't know how to hold on. The stranger's lips move, whispering words Olivia cannot hear clearly, but the intent is undeniable. It is a call for acknowledgement, forgiveness, and reconciliation. Olivia realizes that the mirror has been a conduit, a threshold between the living and the remembered, the known and the hidden. She flips through the old photo album, pointing to images of herself as a child. The stranger mirrors her gestures, her expressions, and the gap in their lives seems to shrink momentarily in the reflection. Olivia understands that this encounter is not just supernatural. It is deeply personal. It is a meeting of what was lost and what remains. The room grows colder, shadows twisting and stretching around her. A whisper fills the air, soft but insistent. Stranger, VO. Remember, forgive, let go. Olivia closes her eyes, letting the words sink into her. Her grief surfaces fully. All the anger, the confusion, the sorrow she had suppressed for decades. She begins to speak aloud. Olivia, I forgive you. I forgive myself. I forgive them. The mirror shimmers, and the stranger's image seems to breathe, almost human in her presence. Olivia feels the cold, distant tension between them dissolve into something warmer. Understanding, recognition, healing. For the first time, Olivia speaks the truth of her past out loud. Olivia, you were never really gone, and neither was I. The stranger's reflection smiles, a soft, almost ethereal smile, full of relief. The shadows in the room seem to relax, the oppressive weight lifting slightly. Olivia realizes the stranger was never trying to harm her. She was a guide, a missing piece of Olivia's identity, bringing with her the closure that had been denied for decades. As Olivia's tears dry, the mirror pulses one last time. She can see the stranger clearly. Then slowly, the reflection begins to fade. But it is not gone entirely. Olivia senses a lingering presence, a quiet reassurance that her twin spirit, her lost other half, is finally at peace. Olivia sinks to the floor, exhausted but unburdened. The apartment is silent again, the candle burning steadily. She stares at the mirror one last time, knowing that the reflection will never be the same, that the stranger has left her mark, a permanent shift in her understanding of herself and her past. Olivia, softly to herself, I see you now, and I carry you with me. The room feels warmer, lighter. Shadows remain, but they are no longer threatening. Olivia has confronted the truth, faced the loss, and reclaimed a part of her soul she didn't know was missing. For the first time in decades, she feels whole. The first morning after her encounter with the mirror, Olivia wakes to sunlight streaming through the windows. The apartment feels different, warmer, softer, lighter. The shadows that once seemed threatening now simply follow the natural flow of the light. She sits on the edge of her bed, taking a deep, steadying breath. The weight of grief, confusion, and fear that had dominated her life for years is lighter now. The mirror on the wall reflects her image clearly, and for the first time in a long time, she sees herself, whole, calm, and at peace. Olivia, softly. I'm okay. I really am. She walks over to the mirror, her hands lightly brushing the surface. There's no sign of the stranger, no eerie flicker, no whisper, only her reflection, steady and reassuring. Yet, deep inside, she knows that the experience has changed her permanently. For years, she had carried fragments of herself that she didn't understand. Memories of loss, shadows of absence, questions without answers. The mirror, the whispers, the stranger. They were all a part of that journey. And now she finally has closure. Olivia, to herself. Thank you for showing me. She moves to the kitchen, brewing a cup of coffee. The simple act feels grounding, normal, yet extraordinary. Every sound, every light, every shadow in the apartment feels familiar again. Not threatening, not strange. She can breathe without fear. Olivia opens her notebook, the one she had used to document every occurrence, every whisper, every fleeting glimpse of the stranger. She flips through it, reading the scribbles, sketches, and frantic notes. What had once seemed chaotic and terrifying now reads like a map, a journey through grief, memory, and acceptance. She smiles faintly, tears of relief glistening in her eyes. Olivia, I've learned. I've grown. I can move forward. The city outside hums with life. Olivia steps onto her balcony, taking in the morning air. The distant sounds of traffic, laughter, and wind through the trees feel alive, tangible, grounding. She realizes that she no longer fears what she cannot see. She has confronted the unseen and emerged stronger. Her phone buzzes. A message from a friend. Coffee later? Olivia smiles, a warmth spreading through her chest. She types back a reply. No hesitation this time. Yes, I'd love that. It is a small gesture, but a significant one. She is reconnecting, not just with her friends, but with the world, with life itself. She no longer carries the invisible weight of fear and unanswered questions. Olivia returns to her bedroom, standing once again before the mirror. She studies her reflection, noticing the subtle strength in her posture, the clarity in her eyes, the calm in her expression. She sees herself fully, without denial or avoidance. Olivia, to her reflection. I'm ready now. She touches the glass, imagining it as a bridge rather than a barrier. A reminder that the past, even the painful parts, shapes who she is but does not define her. She smiles, softly, peacefully. In the quiet apartment, the mirror remains ordinary, unassuming, yet it carries the memory of everything she has faced. The stranger, the whispers, the revelations. It holds the evidence of her courage, her vulnerability, and her growth. Olivia picks up her keys, ready to step out into the world. She feels lighter, stronger, and more whole than she has in years. The fear that once dominated her life has been replaced with understanding, acceptance, and hope. Before leaving, she glances once more at the mirror, whispering softly, almost reverently, Olivia, thank you for helping me find myself. She walks out of the apartment, closing the door gently behind her. The sunlight catches the glass, and for a brief moment, she thinks she sees a faint smile. Not a ghost or a stranger, but the echo of recognition, of closure, of healing. The apartment is still, safe, familiar. Yet a quiet sense of wonder remains, a lingering acknowledgement that some mysteries are meant to teach, to guide, and to transform. Olivia steps into the city, feeling fully present for the first time in years. Her life, once weighed down by grief and unanswered questions, now moves forward with hope, clarity, and resilience. She carries the past within her, but is no longer defined by it. The apartment is quiet, the city lights casting a soft glow through the windows. Olivia sits on her couch, a cup of tea warming her hands. The events of the past week feel like a dream. The mirror, the stranger, the whispers, yet she knows it all happened. She glances at the bedroom mirror, now ordinary and calm. No flickers, no shadowy movements. Only her own reflection, serene and confident. She smiles faintly, the relief of closure washing over her. Olivia, to herself. I'm ready. I really am. As she turns to settle on the couch, a faint sound catches her attention. A soft, almost imperceptible whisper from the direction of the mirror. Whisper VO. Olivia. Her heart skips a beat. She freezes, listening intently. The whisper fades, leaving only silence. Olivia exhales slowly, a shiver running down her spine. She reminds herself that she is safe, that the mirror has given her closure. Yet the echo of that voice lingers, teasing the edge of her consciousness. Curiosity and caution mingle as she rises and approaches the mirror. The reflection greets her with nothing more than her own image. But in the corner of the glass, she swears she sees a fleeting shadow, a brief smile that vanishes the instant she blinks. A part of her wonders, was it the mirror playing tricks? Or was there still something lingering, watching and waiting? Olivia leans closer, placing her palm against the glass. Olivia, softly, almost a whisper. I see you, and I remember. For a long moment, the apartment is still. The city hums faintly outside, indifferent to the quiet drama that has unfolded within these walls. Olivia steps back, the faint smile on her lips a mixture of wonder, hope, and lingering curiosity. She turns off the lights and moves toward her bedroom door. Her reflection in the mirror glimmers briefly, as if acknowledging her farewell. For now, the stranger is gone. But a subtle sense of mystery remains, a reminder that some truths cannot be fully contained, that some connections transcend time and space. Olivia steps into the darkness of her apartment, calm but aware that the world still holds its secrets. And somewhere, in the reflective depths of the mirror, a faint presence waits patiently, whispering her name once more.